Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we're gonna continue our deep dive into the history of Ripple and XRP to possibly conclude some new things or get some crazy insights. Because, we took our time to look at a lot of 2013, even 1996 stuff from Ripple and their members. So make sure you stay tuned for all that is to follow. We got some crazy stuff. And also, we're giving away 50 XRP. And if you want to enter into that giveaway, all you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell on, and make sure you comment something down below. 3 simple steps, but you're automatically entered. And if we hit 500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving that away today, live. All right, having said that, guys, I got some crazy stuff to talk about, but I recommend you guys to watch my previous video first. It's not necessarily a part 1, part 2, but there will be a little bit of overlap, and you can kind of grasp my flow by watching that video. So, first off, New World, New Rules. An article on Ripple, again, this is all official stuff, from 2016. It talks in part about Ripple has 30 active integrations and works with 10 of the world's top 50 banks. That's actually pretty fun to read about because, well, them having 30 active integrations is a mere insect in comparison to the world that they've built right now. Pretty damn crazy. 10 of the world's 50 banks, again, very, very small in comparison to what they've had now, which means that in these just 3 to 4 years, they've gotten some, okay, it's really 4 years, they've gotten some crazy scaling done though. And the more important part, these are not theoretical some days or sandbox exercises because they really got them. And we are the only company with enterprise-ready solutions in DLT, which is the even more important part. All right, that's the more important part. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this whole article, is not for the amount of integration that they had then. All right, I don't even want to measure that necessarily. The more important part is how Ripple views themselves in the space. I earlier showed you guys what Ripple looks like in the grand scheme of things and some of the partnerships that they've made to get themselves settled in. But think about this one, guys. Ripple is supposed to always be at the bottom layer of everything. And there's always so much competition. At least that's what it kind of looks like. If you look at it factually, though, there is really not that much competition at all, actually. Really, Ripple is so far ahead of all the others. Really, guys, think about this. Ripple is so far ahead of all the others. They are at least 7 years further than the rest in terms of progress. We can sometimes measure Swift. We can't. However, take a look at what they really provide. Is it the same as what Ripple can? No. And that's where the friction starts to lie. There are a lot of companies that can do what Ripple can do to a certain degree, but not with the same technology, not at the same level. It'll always be slightly different and slightly disadvantageous, which is why Ripple is really ahead of the game. And at least at this point, 2016, Ripple was the only one doing it. That's what they said right here on their own website. Pretty damn crazy. Is digital currency catching on? I really like to look into these 2013-ish articles as well, because this is really one of the first articles that was ever published on their website. Together, of course, with this right here. I believe this might actually be the real first one, or we're going to see it in a second here. Maybe I have it open still. But I think September 3rd, 2013 is the first article that Ripple ever published on their Insights page. Took me a little time to look it up, but I found it. American businesses are rarely strict American anymore. That I found a very powerful quote already to start it off. Main reason is Ripple right now is talking about leaving the US. Why? Because the US does not want to empower them anymore. They're leaving them in the dark by not coming up with a framework soon enough. And it's not something that's new, as said here. American businesses are rarely strictly American anymore due to a multitude of reasons. A recent Bank of America Merrill Lynch CFO outlook found that the majority of American CFOs said their businesses had some foreign operations. Alistair Borthwick, head of global commercial banking at Bank of America, observed that these companies confront many challenges, including accessing capital, which I think Ripple will play a role in this whole assessing capital thing. Ripple, through the loaning system here, has made it possible for SMEs, small to medium enterprises, to at least get a loan to transfer XRP, making this capital issue a little bit less painful. Managing risk, that's obviously going to stay. Maximizing cash, it's a little bit of a difficult one to assess. And increasing efficiency, which again, Ripple's here for as well. That may require a wide range of financial solutions. Bitcoin and other digital currency for multinational transactions could be among those solutions. And again, this is the first thing that they posted, which makes me kind of think that at that point, Ripple didn't really know exactly where they would fit in the cryptocurrency kind of system. They surely did find it pretty soon afterwards, because I mean, look at this one right here. All right, Chris Larsen, Money Without Borders. And by the way, we've been talking about the loaning system and exactly how that falls in together and really what works, what doesn't work, and how Ripple has set that up. But what we didn't talk about is how did they get this idea? Why are they doing this? A part, of course, is like I just said, Ripple's main priority with ODL is small to medium enterprises. And if we consider those, any small to medium enterprise can't keep up billions of dollars in comparison to another multi-billion-dollar company, so they'll always lag behind. Ripple tried to empower these small to medium enterprises by helping them out, by loaning it to them, because ultimately, it doesn't matter anyway, right? They can just loan it anyway. It's not going to hurt them in any way, shape, or form. However, I claim that this loaning is just the start of the bigger loans that will come eventually with and at Ripple. I even dare to claim that Ripple will be offering more and more banking services as time follows along. And here is a little bit of the idea of why. Chris Larsen, Money Without Borders. In 1996, Chris Larsen founded one of the nation's first online mortgage lenders, eLoan Inc., which allows borrowers to shop directly for loans and cut back on fees charged by sales agents and brokers. 8 years ago, the 1991 graduate of Stanford Graduate Business School launched one of the first peer-to-peer internet-based lenders called Prosper.com, which connects investors directly to borrowers looking for loans. This one right here made me think that Chris Larsen, again, co-founder of Ripple, knows a lot more about lending than we originally thought. This article is from 2013 and is really not something that would post right now. You can also see in terms of sheer length. These articles are very, very short, very small to get people to hop on or something along those lines, but they are fundamentally very, very important because they showcase some of the stuff we really wouldn't know about today had it not been posted. And that exactly shows me this right here. Chris Larsen, 24 years ago, was already working with mortgage lenders, or at least lending systems. Now, 24 years later, and even 7 years after the article was written, they're starting to make it a reality. Right now, it's the first piece of providing a quote-unquote loan on some XRP, but eventually I think more is to come. And that is paired and together with more of the stuff we talked about earlier, where in the internet of value, the stuff that Ripple is building is voting, is holding stocks, is frequent flyer points, literally holding everything is in their, I guess, priority or what they want to do. If you kind of combine those two things, it's not really strange to also consider them going for some more loaning solutions eventually. I mean, they have the money, they have the capital, they have XRP. They can always give that out to people. So I'm thinking about that. By the way, guys, follow me over on Twitter. I'm trying to dig more stuff up and share it over on here. The thing is, though, let's say I would have put in full effort and go and really all out and find cool conclusions. Eventually, some others will share it on Twitter and get way more attention than my measly little tweets, which is why I always recommend you guys to, whenever I post something like this, you can kind of guess I'm going to be the first one to really talk about it. Like when Ripple, with an L, Ripple, the scam was alive. I most likely was one of the first guys to share it over on Twitter. A lot of guys came afterwards, yet my tweets always get dwarfed. I'm like, again, it's no problem as long as people share it, it's cool. But to make sure that our initial tweets can hit as many people as possible, as soon as possible, you gotta help me out by sharing these, by maybe pressing retweet or pressing the like button at least. So check my Twitter out, come follow me, and also make sure that whenever you find something cool, you share it. I will always give you credit in the community, and hopefully we can figure out more stuff together. I think that would be pretty cool as well. How XRP compares to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I briefly hinted on this in my previous video, mostly for the fact that they have only more and more began to disassociate them with Bitcoin in the degree of how efficient they are. Like back in this time, there are multiple articles, again, I'm talking about 2013 to 16, in which they explain the correlation between Bitcoin and XRP. I mean, Chris Larson recently stated it as well, that there is a correlation and that XRP does follow Bitcoin. However, back in the time, if we're talking 2013 to 16, they talked about this way more. And another part is that at that point, it was quite difficult to see exactly how Bitcoin and XRP differentiated from each other, because many people did not know as properly as they do right now. Another point is the whole ecological concern was not as big back then, because as you can see here, back then a lot of guys used to claim it on governance. That was the most important point about it all. Settlement speed, you can see it's not even a complete quotation mark, or no, a exclamation mark. It's just a dash. I think that's a dash, right, in English. I don't even know how you say that. Funny, right? I mean, the settlement speed over at Bitcoin is ridiculously funny and stupid. So, I mean, oh, I almost slipped up right there. Yeah. And on XRP, it's so much faster. I mean, XRP, we're talking 3 seconds. Bitcoin, we're talking 40 minutes, maybe, depending on exactly what you're sending and when. Ethereum, same. Congestion is insane. Those were not even the issue back then. Right now, they are completely. And I mean, we're talking about efficiency as well. XRP, TPS, way higher than a Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, 6, 25, whatever we talk. We're talking low numbers here. XRP beats the game by far. Same for governance, same for it all. We didn't really put that much emphasis on it back then, because I think Ripple did not want to compete so much with Bitcoin as they do now. Really, even though Chris Larson emphasized that Bitcoin and XRP are related, they here, in most of the articles I found, embraced Bitcoin. Like, yeah, that's the real one. We're on the side here. You can also use us. Literally, check out Monica Long here, what she said about is digital currency catching on. She just said that Bitcoin might be used for some things. Well, now we know a couple years later that Bitcoin is pretty useless in that sense, and XRP is one of the true ones that has real utility. All right, amongst all the older articles are also some quote-unquote newer ones that come from, in this case here, 2018, just a couple of days after the big bull run, by the way. And this one here says top 9 frequently asked questions about Ripple and XRP. And, you know, it's fun to see how this has changed over time. Here we had another top 10 list. What is Ripple? So let me quickly put these two next to each other so I can quickly check through them. The first question here is, how do I buy XRP, right? It used to be, what is Ripple? Now, again, this is an unofficial source. This is an official source. But the point is quite clear. I think it has also changed from, you know, what is it all about a couple of years earlier in 2013? It's like, what are they? To how can we get in? All right, that's a big priority shift that happened over the years. And it's pretty damn important because, well, in 2018, Ripple kind of understood that it's not a question of what are we. It's about what can we do and how can we do that and all these types of things. And Ripple kind of expected people to already know them as kind of a household name, or at least something along those lines. So, of course, they are a little bit different. Here's 10 things you need to know about them, and here's the most frequently asked questions. But I do think they fall together quite easily, right? Moving further, what's the difference between the products? Here it is, what do they do? How many institutions have adopted it? And here is, how would Ripple function like the internet? Who's behind Ripple? And here is, how secure is it? You guys can see the difference here. Here it's all, in 2013, it's more of a question of, you know, what is Ripple all about? You know, just give me an idea. And right now, 2018, everybody knew about it because of the big bull run. There's no more questions. There's no more, no, it's just These are real questions that people have about XRP, assuming you already know it all, kind of, the most of the superficial things. I found that interesting. Federal Reserve Task Force, Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. This kind of falls together with the theory that Ripple would work a little bit better as a global reserve currency, or no, not better, would even work then. I typed in Federal Reserve Currency and Federal Currency Reserve Currency into the search engines, but I could not find that much. This was one of the only ones I found, but it really does not give us any greater detail or outlook on Ripple's doing or some crazy insights at all. It's just kind of a sad part that this is the only article that has a very cool title like that. What it does kind of show us, I guess, is just how much time Ripple is saving, guys, and what it is really doing on that end. But I think for all of you guys, that's not really a surprise or nothing really new. The Internet of Value, what it means, and how it benefits everyone. Again, we went over this, but I think this is actually a second article talking about the Internet of Value as well. We got multiple of those. Let's see. Is this one the same? This is 2017, June 21st. I think the other one is. Maybe it's the same one. Let's see. June 21st. Okay, so we went over that already. Okay, that's pretty good then. I don't have to cover it once more. It's pretty damn important, though, to know what the Internet of Value is all about, and hopefully you guys know. Don't believe all the hype, part 1, where banks should focus their blockchain efforts. Pretty important. Look at this right here. Trade finance, on-demand liquidity, capital requirements, payment risks. I am placing a bet here that Ripple has done this specifically with the idea in mind that they can at one point take all of these over. Trade finance. Using a shared single-state database as a universal source of truth will eliminate fraud and streamline the financing of trade credit deals. This Accenture report, again, Accenture, you remember that name, guys? Accenture Ripple, you remember that? Highlights nimble startups leveraging blockchain technology as a competitive threat to traditional banks and trade finance market. ODL. The current system for provisioning liquidity, and by the way, this comes from March 28th, 2017. Fun fact, at this point, XRP was not even announced. Fun fact for you guys, XRP was not announced until, I believe, the 1st of October 2018. And their name switch from XRP to on-demand liquidity only happened now, I believe, in 2020, right? Maybe late 2019. So for them to say, the banks need on-demand liquidity, either this is, some good planning, or they're just, kind of not so creative with the name. However, take a look at this one. Trade finance. Will we be working on that? We'll definitely so. On-demand liquidity? I mean, Ripple is really known for that, right? So we all know that they are working on that. Capital requirements. Well, we had capital requirements, but Ripple has gotten this loaning system in, so kind of those requirements have fallen down significantly. The only two kind of stay in here are trade finance. I mean, I don't really know in exactly what way they mean this. Literally, I guess if you split them up, you talk about trading specifically. This is more talking about information and how that is kind of handled. So I don't know exactly why they name it trade finance. Maybe that's a household name for this subject. I don't really know. What I do know that there's trading specifically, we've talked about DX, a decentralized exchange that Ripple's been building. And information, maybe it all falls within the Internet of Value that we're talking about, in which everything can be stored, maybe. Capital requirements, again, it's already being done. Payment risk, well, I would say that payment risk is something that they've already worked on for a little while, again, Ripple, and they're already pretty far with because, well, the payment risk is only as heavy as the time it takes to settle something. If it's instant, there's not really that much of a payment risk anymore at all, right? Or if you have direct connections everywhere, which Ripple plans to do. So basically these 4 points, which they say are important for banks, they all kind of tick off, which again, gets rid of some of the competition. This one I want to get into in a different time because it's another very, very long one. Actually, a lot of them here, it will require too much time to talk about. I got some crazy stuff to talk about still, so make sure you watch for another video that's coming out later today. Again, crazy stuff, but hopefully you guys are all enjoying these. If you are, make sure you press the like button and subscribe and show me in the comment section down below that you appreciate this stuff. Thank you all for watching, take care, and have a very nice day.